The race for the Democrats in Iowa is still too close to call, and they've already moved on to the next state. Hillary Clinton's campaign has declared victory, but it's not official yet. Here's the former Secretary of State.
So as I stand here tonight, breathing a big sigh of relief, thank you, Iowa. I want you to know I will keep doing what I have done my entire life. I will keep standing up for you. I will keep fighting for you. I will always work to achieve the America that I believe in, where the promise of that dream that we hold out to our children and our grandchildren never fades, but inspires generations to come.
Now, at that point, I think they were still 0.2% apart, which was a bigger gap than it had been earlier. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is celebrating the results as well. Watch.
Iowa, thank you. When young people and working people and seniors begin to stand up and say loudly and clearly, enough is enough, that our government, the government of our great country, belongs to all of us and not just a handful of billionaires. When that happens, we will transform this country.
And as the Republican Party has been saying, even a close win is essentially a loss for Hillary Clinton. Here's the RNC chairman, Reince Priebus.
It's very possible that the Democrats are going to be even more unclear on their side by the time we get to April than we are. And who would have guessed that 6 months ago? That just kind of goes to show you the weakness of Hillary Clinton. I mean, the fact that a First Lady, Secretary of State, Senator can't put down a gadfly from Vermont, it's a total disaster for Hillary Clinton.
That gadfly got almost 50% of the vote last night, which might be the biggest problem for Hillary Clinton.
I don't know. Just watching the coverage last night on Fox and watching Bernie Sanders and his supporters, you really felt like this was just a huge historical moment that we are witnessing. I mean, I don't know, Rich, you didn't call for this. You didn't call for the race to be that close. How surprised were you?
My left-wing friends have been saying for a long time they'd win both in Iowa and New Hampshire. Now, it looks like he's come up a little short in Iowa, but for Hillary Clinton, this formidable frontrunner, to beat Bernie Sanders, if she's actually beaten him, by less than a point in Iowa is a major sign of weakness. Problem with Sanders he really needs a political earthquake to shake her support among minority voters and some of the more moderate liberals in the party, and he's probably going to beat her in New Hampshire, but he really needed to beat her in both places, really, to rock her campaign to the core, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
You know, I hadn't planned to go down this road, but since you brought it up with minority voters, it's been interesting in the past that they didn't back an Al Sharpton or a Jesse Jackson. They look for a winner. So depending on how Bernie does, that group might surprise you, but we don't know, of course. This just in from Ed Henry. We love our friend Ed Henry. He says, look out for the shift in the Clinton message. She starts by declaring victory in Iowa, and then she says it's all about the economy. Economy, she stressed, economy hard at the top. Economy, after entrance polling showed the economy is key.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the economy is without question key, but that's going to be very hard for her to sell that one. I mean, she is basically riding on the back of extending President Obama's terms, and I don't think there's anyone out there who thinks that things are going great right now. I think you have to keep a very close eye on the Clintons. I mean, what was this coin toss thing that happened in Iowa?
3 to 6 different...
Depending which report you looked at, between 3 and 6 districts came down to a coin toss, and she won every time. Where is that coin? Vegas, baby. I'm going to pick it up and go right there. I mean, you always have to keep your eye on the Clintons.
It's like that coin toss
in the... He's not complaining about that? I mean, he's not out there?
The Packers-Cardinal playoff game didn't have a coin toss before overtime, and the coin didn't toss. Or didn't
or those magical coins with 2 heads, one head on each side. That's a Clinton coin. They rig it so they win every time.
Wait, keep an eye on that. I wondered about this as I was watching last night, and every network had it. Some had the 50 to 50, some had the 49.8, 49.6, but at the same time, you see her come out front. She upcut. Ted Cruz was speaking at that point. They all have TVs, so she knows she's doing that, right?
She does.
What is the strategy going forward for Hillary Clinton? Because she will likely lose New Hampshire. That's next door to Bernie Sanders' home state, Vermont.
fight like heck. I mean, you saw her this morning, Harris. The Clintons typically do very well when they have an enemy. Hillary does well when she's down. This reminds me of the way that she fought last time with Barack Obama. But no question, I mean, Bernie Sanders better get a food taster because it's going to be quite the slog. They're going into New Hampshire. She had to cry, arguably, last time to win New Hampshire. That's a state uniquely tailored to a Sanders. His mission right now is to try and beat her really, really handily in New Hampshire, and she's got to hold him off before she can get to Nevada and the South. But the DNC infrastructure will never let Sanders win. They need that Goldman Sachs money, so they're going to try and drag her over the finish line.
Part of the dragging came from de Blasio. Mayor of New York was in Iowa for her over the weekend. I mean, Hillary Clinton clearly is pulling toward members of the party, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't know, the burn, almost 50%.